Here's another 10 cents. Another 10 cents is to give. Charity. I really should have put that first. Right after Caesar, Jesus said, pay Caesar first, then pay God. Charity. Some churches teach 10%. That's good. Like, give it to the church and let the church distribute it however. Or distribute it yourself, whatever. But make sure you put back part of what you take out. Charity. Some people are less fortunate. Some people, live tragic lives and they need our help. So 10% set aside to help those that are unfortunate, cannot help themselves. 10 cents for giving. And a good time to learn 10 cents for giving is when you're little. Because see, it's pretty easy to flip a dime out of a dollar. What's a little more difficult is to give 100,000 out of a million. Somebody says, if I had $1 million, I'd give 100,000. I'm not that sure. That's a lot of money. We better learn it now, just in case, you get the big stuff and won't turn loose of it. So develop the habit now of the 10 cents, right? Kids should learn the first dollar you get, you should learn how to divide it up. Because if you let a kid, when he gets his first dollar, spend it all, you've already started them on the wrong habit pattern. Now, what if they do that the rest of their life? They will be in serious trouble. So you got to teach them what to do with the first dollar. The first dollar. Or as quickly as possible, correct what might be wrong. So 10 cents for charity, 10 cents for the increase of capital, and 10 more cents is for investing. Now at first, use that 10 cents, thinking, the richest man in Babylon says, use 10 cents to pay off all your bills, which is good. Now you can start using it for investing, but pay off all your bills first. All the little accumulation of credit cards and all that stuff. There's a Bible phrase that says, the borrower is servant to the lender. And as quickly as possible, you don't want to be a servant anymore. What you want to be is a lender, not a borrower. Get on the other side of the table as soon as you can. The borrower is servant to the lender. Now, once you've got all those little bills paid off, just cleaned up all the little bills, Arnold's linoleum, everything, all that stuff, just clean all that up. Now you've got some money to invest. Now here's where you should invest some of your money. In financial institutions, so that it provides a larger capital pool for successful people to borrow and start big businesses that you at first can't start. Build big factories and employ lots of people. There needs to be a collection of capital so that people can borrow it. And guess what they will do when they borrow your money? Pay you for the use of it. So you teach kids how to put their money in savings accounts, financial institutions. In Australia not long ago, a man said to me, I'm recommending everybody put their money in gold, take it out of all the banks. I said, then you'll bankrupt the country. You can't do something and teach it to everybody else that's going to bankrupt the country. You can't be totally self-protective. You must care and feed the goose that lays the golden eggs. If you're going to drive on this society's streets, and if you're going to walk on society's sidewalks, and indulge in society's commerce and goods and services in the community, you've got to do your share to care and feed the goose. You can't grab yours and put it in gold and hide it and put it in the ground, because if everybody did that, we would have no society. So you can't teach something that if everybody did would wreck the whole thing. He said, well, I never thought about that. I said, that's obvious. Right? Now you must think, you must ponder. What's going to help all of society? Somebody says, well, I'm going to grab everything I got, barricade myself, go off to a cave in the mountains and wait with a gun. Well, if everybody did that, right, then the world would be over. And God would have to start all over again. Which He's done on occasion. But most people didn't enjoy the process. So what's going to help everybody? What's going to help commerce? What can I do on my part on taxes and my part on savings and my part on helping financial institutions that will build businesses and employ more people and keep the health of the country going and alive? Right? You just have to think. not just about yourself, right? Self-thinking is for the development of skill. Now we need to think also outward about what can I do? My part, my 10 cents, my percentage. And you can teach this to kids. Put your money in financial institutions. Kid says, well, do you get it back? Say, well, sure you get it back. They borrow it for a while and give it back to you. And they also pay you interest on it. Pay you money for using it. Kid says, how clever. And then you give him the blockbuster. He says, yeah, but what do they pay kids? And you give them the good news. Same rate as they pay adults. Now you can start acting big. Because now, number one, you are a lender instead of a borrower, and you're getting paid as much as adults. Even if you're 10, they pay you the same percentage. Kid says, wow. Now then, you also have to teach kids how to be happy taxpayers. Because kids become taxpayers as soon as they spend money. They go down to the local store, spend 50 cents. Shopkeeper wants what else? 3 more cents. Kid says, it says 50 cents here. Says, it's 53 cents. You got to give me 3 more cents. Kid says, well, what's that for? Who gets that money? Now, at age 10, he's a taxpayer. 3 cents he's got to cough up. Out of his hard-earned money. He earned it. It's his. Kid says, the shopkeeper says, you got to give me 3 cents. It's taxes. Little kid says, well, I'm only 10. Doesn't matter. At 10, you become a taxpayer. Now you've got to teach kids how to be happy taxpayers and what the 3 cents is for. Otherwise, they will be confused. So you teach them what the 3 cents is for. See, well, see the sidewalks and the streets? Everybody can't make their portion of the street. You don't have the equipment. So what we do is we all gather up this money from all of us, and we pay somebody to build these streets and these sidewalks. So you have something to ride your bicycle on, and you can go places. Kid says, well, that makes sense. Then here's my 3 cents. I'll make my contribution. It's part of the care and feeding of the goose that lays the golden eggs. And then you also teach kids. See the police car going there? You own that. It's yours. And the guy in it's one of your servants. Servants. Called public what? Servant. So at age 10, you got some servants. Servants. Taking care. Keeping the bullies away. When you get in trouble, give a call. See, once kids understand, once people understand where the money goes, what's it for, make the happy contribution, divide up your money gladly instead of reluctantly, okay? Then you can just change a lot of this inner turmoil. And you get more excited about participating and doing your part and learning skills and growing, so that you become an incredibly unique part of society rather than a reluctant part and a foot-dragging part and an unhappy part and a miserable part, and you do it with animosity instead of joy. So you can imagine what the complex of society and how it would change if everybody had those feelings. But if enough of us do, see, we'll be able to affect all the others, at least in some measure. What you do with your money. So now we've got 30% set aside. Learn to live on 70. Okay? Caesar first, then God, 10 cents for increase of capital, 10 cents to invest. Live on 70. Now once you get doing extremely well, you can even start living on less and less and less, because the amount is more and more and more. Now a few more tips on financial independence and we'll take our first break. Here they are. Number 1, if you haven't done it in a long time, put together a financial statement on yourself. A financial statement simply is a piece of paper divided in half, and on one side is all the list of your assets, the value of your assets. On the other side of the paper is all that you owe, called liabilities. Then you subtract one from the other, and that now is called your net worth. Mr. Schoaf asked me, have you put together a financial statement recently? I said, I never have put together one. He says, well, now's the time to do it. And I wasn't too happy about putting together that first one. I says, well, it's not going to look that good. He said, it doesn't matter how it looks. You got to have one. To get where you want to go, first of all, you got to know where you are. Say, where am I, without kidding anybody? Okay, now this first financial statement, you don't have to publish it in a public record. It's for your own private eyes to see, but you got to see where you are. Take a look. Now, when I put my first one together, I had no problem on the liability side. I mean, that was a long list. Budget, finance, they were all on there. Money I'd borrowed from my parents. I mean, it was all on there, right? On the asset side, though, I really started scraping the bottom of the barrel. I put the value of my shoes on there. I put shoes. There was $10 at least, right? I mean, I'm scraping. So I won't look so bad, right? But anyway, so if you putting together your first one, right, whatever you got to do, make it look as good as you can. But also, make sure it's accurate and make sure you take a good look at where you are. Now then, play this financial independence program like a game. Be delighted in reducing your liabilities and increasing your assets. Once I got the hang of this, I started putting together a financial statement about every 30 days, sometimes even less. If I knew the picture had changed quite a bit, I'd draw me up a new financial statement so I could put away the old one. Here's my new one. You just play it like a game. And then learn to be excited about reducing your liabilities. Shoaff taught me how to pay my bills with enthusiasm. Now, see, that was a whole new thing for me. He said, the next time you pay $100 on an account, put a little note in there and say, with great excitement I send you this $100. He says, you won't believe what it'll do on the other end, right? When they get that note. But he says, most important of all, you won't believe what it'll do on your end. Now starting to part with your money with excitement, with enthusiasm. He started changing my whole opinion about money and about paying my bills and about capital and learning to live within restricted limits. He got me excited about it. And see, a big part of what you do with your plan is going to be your attitude about it. So develop a whole new attitude about your money. Remember, it's not the amounts that count. It's the attitude and the plan. He got me to open up my first savings account. And he said, go down there with excitement and open it up. I'd never had a savings account. So I told him, I said, well, I don't have any money to open up a savings account. He said, have you got $10? I said, well, yeah, I got $10. He said, then go get it open. It's not the amount, it's the plan. So I marched down to the bank and opened up my first savings account. Now that took a little bit. I'm a grown man. And I said to the lady, that waited on me there at the bank, I said, I want to open up a savings account. She said, fine, what's your name? I said, Mr. Rohn. She said, Mr. Rohn, just fill this out. I said, okay, so I filled it out. I said, there it is. She looked it over and she said, that's fine. She said, how are we going to get this started? I said, put 10 in. She said, 10 what? I said, $10. $10. Now, Shoaff said, be enthusiastic. Now, see, I had trouble there. I'm 25, I'm married, my family's starting, I'm working, and I've been to college, and I'm opening up my first savings account with only $10. Now, that was tough. But Shoaff said, swallow hard and just go do it. Do it with excitement because it'll change. It's the plan that counts and not the amount. Wow. So I put the $10 in. I said, hey, this doesn't look like much, but I said, I'll tell you what, before long I will have the largest savings account in this bank. She said, well, if you say so. Guess what? Within less than 2 years, I had the largest savings account in that bank. In less than 2 years. Shoaff was right. It wasn't the amount. It was the attitude. It was my new plan. I got excited about rearranging my life, putting it together. Here's a couple more. Keep strict accounts. Have you ever heard the old expression, I don't know where it all goes? Let me give you probably one of the most important phrases of the whole weekend. You've got to know where it all goes. You just got to know. The Rockefeller boys said their father, grandfather, made them keep track of every penny they got and where it went. It's called habit. You just gotta know where it's going, what's happening, get a handle on it. It's part of how you become financially independent. Because I found out, even early in the game when I was making some pretty good money, I found out you could make $5,000 a month and go broke. Somebody says, how could you go broke making $5,000 a month? It's easy. Spend $6,000. And 9 months from Thursday, it's over, right? If your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. You gotta know where it goes. So keep strict accounts. Now then, when you can start investing, start a little business on the side, do a little buying and selling. See, some of the people just got incredibly wealthy in this part of the country, right, in real estate in the last 12, 15 years. Unbelievable. Be on the lookout for buying. Now, collectively, for us, in doing business, we have somebody who specializes in looking for investments. But until you can afford that kind of luxury where people can look and find places, to put your money to get best advantage of making it useful as well as making money, you've just got to be sharp enough on your own to do some buying, do some selling. Now, so you can even teach kids how to make proper investments. What if kids bought light bulbs 3 years ago and just put them aside, put them away? Went down to the Safeway and bought them. And brought them home, put them under the bed, put them in the closet. 3 years ago. What are they worth today? 2 or 3 times as much as they were 3 years ago. How would you like to make that kind of return on your money? Incredible. Kid says, light bulbs, I never thought about that. Just buy some and set them aside. Buy 1, buy 10, buy a dozen, buy 100. Save up your money, put them in light bulbs, set them aside. Okay, 3 years later, now you got some light bulbs to sell. At an incredibly inflated price. Kid says, yeah, where do you sell light bulbs? Same people that are buying your soap. Just right down the street. Financial independence. Put your plan together and get your family excited about it. Get the kids excited about it. Husband excited. Get the wife excited. This is something that if everybody works on, if everybody has a financial statement, if everybody's knowing where it's going, and everybody has a celebration every once in a while when the assets are going up and the liabilities are coming down and the net worth is changing, make it a source of celebration. Right? We're among an incredible group in comparing financial statements. I think the major guy in our group's worth about $50 million. So, he becomes an incredible incentive for the rest of us. It's nice to have somebody around, right, that's carrying that kind of heavy, right? It gives you something to shoot for. You're looking and say, yeah, I'm looking pretty good. And then you see somebody else's financial statement and you say, well, I got a little ways to go. But anyway, play it like a game, get excited about it, develop the skills and how to earn money, thinking of enterprises, investments, developing more skills so you can earn more money, but then have an incredibly excellent plan on what to do with your money. And sure enough, very quickly, the first year, the second year, the third year, you can't believe the changes that'll start to be made. And the major change, of course, is in your own self-confidence, and that's where riches come from, self-confidence. It's not the growing bank account. It's your growing awareness that you're in charge. You got a plan. You're on track. It's changing because you changed it. It's different because you made it different. It's growing because you made certain commitments to yourself. And those kind of feelings are where the treasure is. Because the true treasure is in personal development. Happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. But sure enough, what you become is related to what you get. So you can take a look at what you've gotten and have great satisfaction that you're the one that designed it. You're the one that defined it. You just didn't let it drift and get into trouble. You made the changes. You made the hard decisions. So for your own financial independence, get the book, get some other books, do some reading, make it a game, play it, have a plan, change your attitude, become a happy taxpayer, Pay your bills with enthusiasm. Put all this together, and I'll tell you what, it'll start to change. You won't believe. Okay, financial independence.